I'm slowly rebuilding myself again after pregnancy. Physically, mentally, emotionally, everything. And I don't think people really talk about how strange that phase can feel. Before I found out I was pregnant, I was cool, I was okay, my energy wasn't high, I was creating content, I was working, everything was fine. But the moment I found out I was pregnant, I suddenly became tired, like tired. Now, I knew I was going to keep my baby, but there was this thing about genotype. My genotype is AS, my partner's genotype is AC. So we knew we had to do the testing and all that. So me thinking about all that was already weighing me down, was already stressful. So I was just slow, and then what coupled with work stress, I was working night shift then. So my energy just dropped. It was winter, this whole winter blues, everything was just not right. Like the energy was low. I automatically entered survival mode, and then I lost all my routines. The things I would easily do before, I just couldn't do them anymore. And then it then dawned on me and my body that I was pregnant. So my body now started acting pregnant. Now, after having your baby, there's this pressure to bounce back, like your body wise, motherhood online versus motherhood in reality, breastfeeding exhaustion. Oh my, that's like a whole topic on its own. Breastfeeding is so demanding and so draining. I love to breastfeed, but I don't think people talk about how draining and what toll it takes on the body, both mentally as well, not only physically. I mean, breastfeeding is a full-time job. I know people say motherhood is a full-time job, but breastfeeding on its own is in its own class. So the breastfeeding exhaustion, and then still trying to take care of the entire family on top of that, especially when you also have other children. You cannot neglect the other children because you have a baby. You still need to show love equally to everybody. Sometimes you don't even have time to think. You're expected to just recover physically like that while barely sleeping. Oh my God, those were the ghetto days. I even remember someone asking me when I was still like barely a month postpartum, asking me why my belly had not gone back in. I just laughed it over. I'm like, no, you must be joking. And I didn't want to pressure myself at all, because I knew I was going to work on myself when I was fit. Most importantly, when I was mentally fit to do it. So I didn't even let all that pressure me in the early days of postpartum at all. All I was just trying to do was just catch as much sleep as I could. So gradually, as this passed, I started to feel like myself again, week after week. I started going on walks with my baby, and when I felt I could again, I started lifting weight. That was like the very, very first thing that even gave me sanity. When I started being able to leave the house with the baby, at least get some fresh air. That was like the first breakthrough I had. There's a way it helps to regulate my system. I just feel like some calm when I've been able to like exercise my body. And most importantly, I didn't rush myself into any of these things. I just started small by small, like little by little, and just made sure I was consistent with them. And there's something consistency does. It really, 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 really brings changes. Now, what I've been learning so far is that healing isn't linear. Like, it's not just one way. Today you can feel like 100, tomorrow you feel 80, next tomorrow you feel 70, again the next day you feel 85. Like, everything is not just going to go smooth like that one day. No, healing isn't linear. Your progress can be like this, and it's fine, it's okay. Another thing I'm learning is that comparison steals joy. So I do not bother comparing myself to another person, maybe like another person's postpartum journey, or compare my baby's milestones to another person's baby's milestones. No, we're not doing that here. I just take my own life and take my own journey as it is, and I'm allowed to rebuild slowly. It may take time, but we're going to definitely get there. And very, very, very most importantly, discipline over motivation. Some days I'm not motivated to like go on walks, I'm not motivated to lift weights, do my exercise, but I have to be disciplined, and I have to talk myself out of that rut of being comfortable. Like, I have to literally drag myself physically out of that being comfortable mental zone and ensure that I do whatever I have said I would do. Also, I give myself grace sometimes when necessary. I'm not too hard on myself all the time, but I ensure to stay disciplined regardless. And even though I don't fully remember what postpartum was like after my first baby, I think postpartum this time around has been a bit slower. So it has allowed me to stay calmer and be in the present more than it was the first time when I had my first baby. I don't fully have everything figured out yet, but I think this season is less about becoming who I used to be, but more about becoming a new person and a new version of me. Thank you everyone for watching, and if you're a postpartum mom or you would like to share your experiences, please do so in the comment section. See you in my next video. Bye.